like the truckers are making a statement here that they do not support the gun bans. This is Millie Weaver. We are here in Richmond, Virginia, right outside the Capitol at the much anticipated Second Amendment rights rally, where American citizens are voicing their displeasure with the governor and the Democrats' actions in trying to infringe upon the Second Amendment rights of American citizens. Now, the governor did issue a state of emergency and ban guns around the Capitol, but as you can see, many gun owners are out here despite that, and they have their guns they are carrying. It sends a message that they will not comply with any sort of gun bans or infringements on the Second Amendment.
Why are we allowing the rights to be infringed?
Let's go talk to some of these people out here and see why they feel the Second Amendment is so important.
I think the big message is that, no matter what laws that they can pass, that the people are unified in the message of trying to keep freedom alive in this nation. And I mean, look at the number of people that are here. All these people are ready to stand and, to fight, to die a lot of times for the freedom, because we know that wherever freedom comes from, that gives us the rights to, for our religion, for our speech, for doing what you're doing right now.
Most people aren't thinking about the cost of this. There's just a handful of people who are saying that this is the will of the state, and it's not. There's just a handful of people that are causing millions and millions of dollars. How are they held accountable for that? They're causing extra judicial processes. They're causing everybody to take off of whatever they're doing to come here to try to save what's already in the Constitution. When are they held accountable for violating their oath of office? And when are they held accountable for violating the Constitution?
Which of these counties, the green counties, were the ones that declared?
That's right. The green counties are the counties that have chosen to be sanctuary cities and counties
For the Second Amendment.
for the Second Amendment rights. That's exactly right.
That's pretty amazing. That's a loud message right there.
It is.
And it's being passed in North Carolina as well. It's being found everywhere. These sanctuary counties for the Second Amendment are coming up everywhere. Yeah. And I think what people don't realize as well, when you study people like Richard Mack and what he's done, that the local sheriffs have more power than what you think. So if the people gather in their local governments and get moving with their commissioners, and they can see change locally and protection locally. And it says a huge message. I mean, look at that map. It's green. It's 94% of all the counties in Virginia. That's huge.
You have 3 members of the North Carolina General Assembly here showing solidarity for our neighbors. We're here to let Virginia know that North Carolina stands with them, and we're not going to put up with this in our state.
The North Carolina General Assembly has drafted this letter. It was actually, I authored it. We have over 52 members that signed it in supporting the citizens of Virginia, and you can have this, supporting the citizens of Virginia in their fight for their Second Amendment rights. I want you to recall in history that North Carolina was the linchpin in codifying the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And the reason that we stood back and said no is we insisted on the Second Amendment in North Carolina. We're the ones that said we'll do it. We were the final ones to sign. Now, we're here today to show the people of Virginia that we stand with them yet again. We did it in the Revolution. We'll do it again. We'll continue to do it. It tells you in here that we believe that what's happening here in Virginia is the same thing that happened in Williamsburg when Lord Dunmore took the powder from the colonial citizens. We believe that Northam may actually be a descendant of Lord Dunmore.
Wow.
Okay? That's why we're here today, to let the people of Virginia know that North Carolina, our sister state, and we will stand with you, whatever it takes. And yes, we'll lay down our lives if necessary.
I'm a retired Marine. I spent 20 years protecting that right, and I'll be damned if I'm going to sit by and watch it disappear without a shot ever being fired. Which is not to indicate I want a shot fired. But we're not going to let our politicians take what our enemies were not able to.
USA! USA! This is amazing, right?
I've never really seen anything like this. I gotta tell you, this is bigger than the Tea Party, and he may not like it, but I think this is actually bigger than some of the Trump rallies I've seen too. This is because this actually goes beyond politics, right? This is American culture. This is a cultural issue, and I think the politicians don't quite understand that this is one of the bedrocks of American culture, of what makes America exceptional, an exceptional nation. This is the only nation on earth that has something like the Second Amendment.
It's just amazing to see how many people are just openly carrying, and they don't care, and they are willing to stand up to defend the Second Amendment.
And meanwhile, you know, you've never seen more open carry guns outside of a gun show, I guess. And nobody feels threatened. Everyone's being like extremely polite. As they say, armed society is a polite society, right?
Yeah, I feel really
right.
safe.
Yeah, everybody feels safe. Everybody's just kind of, minding each other's personal space. Nobody's bumping anyone, anything like that. It's not like, you go, try to think of areas that have a lot of people like a concert or something, and everyone's bumping around, trying to get ahead. Here, everyone's, excuse me, pardon me, can I help you with that? And it's also amazing to me to see, I've seen people here from Virginia, from Pennsylvania, from Ohio, from North Carolina, from Michigan I've seen, probably even further, and they're coming out, and people really understand, Texas, of course Texas, no surprise there, that people really do understand the gravity of the history that's at play here, in the sense that, you hear people saying, we stand with the people of Virginia like we did during the Revolution, like we did in times past when rights were threatened. This idea of patriots banding together, I mean, again, that goes directly to the heart of what it means to be an American.
Look what the governor has tried to do to the Second Amendment rally. He's filled it with gates and scanners and people being patted down and having metal wands around their body, all so that everyone could be disarmed. This is what the disarming of the American people looks like. This is what the governor and the Democrats want to do to everyone in the country, anywhere you go. But a lot of the protesters, you can see them just outside there, they are choosing to stay outside of the designated rally area so that they can continue to carry and express their right to do so. And they're doing it loud and proud. The mainstream media will only show, look at this small turnout here of this Second Amendment rally, right? But what they won't show you is over here, there are tens of thousands of Americans packing the streets just outside there because they are refusing to go into the Democrats' gun-free zone.
The problem is, if somebody does start something, there's no way out of here with this chain link fence. Look what happened in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and we would be the sitting ducks.
Trying to knock down a chain link fence. But hopefully, everybody's, I got my rights, and that's why I'm down here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if there was a sniper situation like we saw with Vegas and any of these buildings, I wouldn't want to be in this area. I'd probably want to run back over there with all the people with firearms.
The thing is, everybody goes the way you came in. And you try and go the other way, you can't do it.
Yeah. We're in here. This is the sitting duck zone right here.
Stay engaged. Stay involved. What you have created with the Second Amendment sanctuary movement is incredible. It is unique. And it scares the hell out of the people who want to strip you of your rights.
You're not safe. If a criminal knows you don't have any guns in your house, he can walk right in and he doesn't have anything to worry about because he's going to have a gun and you're not.
Because why would a criminal abide by the law, right?
Very much so.
Just like when you see those signs at establishments and businesses that says no guns allowed, well, they don't have security checkpoints and scanners or anyone making sure you don't walk in there with a gun. But then the people who are law-abiding are just sitting in there like sitting ducks, right?
Right. You're right. That's what happens. And if the criminals know that no one else has a gun but them, they have nothing to fear.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
I have a bill that we were talking about. So one of these, people call it the most common sense gun law they've heard of, and it's going through the legislature right now. It's the Kate Nixon Act, and what it basically does is says that you can sue the government if you get shot in a gun-free zone. Now, many of you may remember there was a mass shooting in Virginia Beach last May. Well, Kate's husband told her to carry her gun to work that day, and she said, I can't. It's a gun-free zone. And so then she got shot, and she called her husband up and said, honey, I got shot. Can you call 911? And then she was killed. So the government is trying to make us helpless victims. And, you know, there's a reason why our founding fathers refused to ratify the Constitution without the Second Amendment right. If you put yourself into the mindset of the people back then, British soldiers were going into our houses doing whatever they wanted. And so it's tyranny. So I don't understand what these people don't understand shall not be infringed. So I think it's the most common sense gun bill out there, and we need to get it passed.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, these places that want to have gun-free zones, they should assume liability because they are disarming you. They should then be responsible for keeping you safe. And if they can't, if they don't have armed security, if they fail to do so, you should be able to sue. So that makes so much sense, and I'm glad you're doing that.
There's a war on common sense. You know, if somebody broke into your house and you had a gun, you'd be glad you had a gun. If somebody broke into your house and you didn't have a gun, you wish you had a gun. And did you see the news recently? In London and England, they banned guns. And so this year, they surpassed New York and London for the most murders, so now they're banning knives. It's not a gun problem, it's not a knife problem, it's a mental health, it's a human problem.
There he is, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, one of the Democrats that's trying to take away your gun rights. He's sitting there right now getting ready to do what he can to infringe upon the Second Amendment.
Why aren't you dropping 142?
You don't want me to.
Well, yes, we do.
Why don't we want you to?
So
have you seen the amended bill on 142?
We want you to drop 142.
Well, let them answer the question.
In the Commonwealth of Virginia, to get a concealed carry permit, you have to take a gun safety course. It's kind of a little bit backwards, but obviously that's not going to change.
If you had constitutional carry, would you discharge it?
But I've always supported constitutional carry before. I'll support it again.
So as an NRA and a Maryland State Police certified firearms instructor that certifies people to carry guns, what qualifies you to decide what we teach and what laws people have to follow in order to qualify for a concealed carry permit, when the biggest part of a concealed carry class is how to handle the gun safely, how to store it safely, how to store your ammunition safely, how to keep the stuff away from your children and everything else.
I wish you were teaching all these classes. I really wish. So you're
people
right.
Like me teach all these classes.
No, but there are people that are not like you teaching these classes too. In Virginia, you can actually take an online class and not have to be in person. Those videos, in many cases, are made by outside the state entities, and people like you aren't doing them. And what you're talking about passing on to individuals isn't what's in there. I'm not looking to dictate what has to be in the course. My bill doesn't dictate what has to be in the course. My bill just says when someone takes the course that they're told up hand what they can expect to learn from that course, and that way they can decide whether that's the course they want to spend their $100 on, or it's a different course they want to spend their $100 on.
I teach a class for $75. It's 4 hours long that covers points that exceed state minimum requirements.
Online or in person?
It's in person.
See, I love you. That's what we need. We need more of you. And if you would teach your class online, I would take people and point into your class.
What classes are offered online?
Well, do you think I know all these URLs off the top of my head? I mean, come on, get a little real.
Name a company.
I will take you upstairs. You want to go upstairs? We'll go look. You want to come upstairs? We'll do review upstairs.
Let's go.
Let's go.
He's getting cold. I'm offering to show you the truth. How you doing? Thank you.
All right, let's go.
You have to go through a different entrance, obviously.
Okay.
But I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, support constitutional carry, grew up shooting competitively. I'm on the same side you are, trust me. And the whole point of this is I don't want to be the guy to tell you what to teach because I'm not you and you know 10 times more what should be in that class. I'd love to show you what I'm talking about and the importance of what this is. And I'd love to meet you upstairs. I'd be happy to answer all the questions and show you all this stuff. I don't believe in putting in ridiculous bills. I don't believe in doing anything that impedes our constitutional rights or the Second Amendment at all. And be happy to demonstrate. But obviously, as you heard from law enforcement, you just have to go through a different entrance.
That's fine.
What are some of your grievances with his bill?
The fact that someone in a cheap suit feels that they have the right or authority to tell people what they should and shouldn't purchase. You know, if you're making a decision to carry a firearm, you should be smart enough to make that decision on your own based on what kind of class it is that you're going to take and who's going to teach it. And telling me I have to take a class in order to do that is a flat-out infringement. Plain and simple, bottom line.
We got to go through this door up here.
That door over there. Oh.
You guys
Firearms prohibited.
Yeah, let's see the
Well,
gun.
we're going to try that because if he's not going to let us do that.
So it looks like they weren't able to make it up here because there's no gun policy in the building, and they were both carrying, so they were not able to come in. But we still wanted you to show us
Sure, yeah,
so the
be happy
viewers
to.
can see what you're talking about.
So here's the background of the legislation. There's a lot of new concealed carry members every year, every month in Virginia. And there are a lot of people who grow up around firearms, but there are a lot that don't. People, when they first get that concealed carry permit, may not know what the legalities are around brandishing a weapon. They don't realize that if they happen to be in a situation having a heightened discussion with someone and they just accidentally pull their jacket back and it shows part of their weapon, that could get them in trouble. Not every concealed carry permit holder is an attorney. So when they go to take these classes, even the online ones, Virginians are looking for something that helps them be that law-abiding gun owner. So my concern was you go and you see things like this course here. This one here is $28 to take the course, and it tells you how the course works. You sit there, you watch it, you answer 5 questions. So someone will sit through this for 45 minutes and then realize that it gave them basically Firearm 101. This is a chamber, and this is how you point the weapon in a safe direction, but not what your obligations and best practice are for being a concealed carry permit holder. Here's another one. Once again, doesn't tell you what that video actually is, what's in that video. Is it just a Firearm 101, here's the chamber of a weapon, or this is how, you are a law-abiding gun owner, and here's your rights and responsibilities concealed carrying in Virginia. The reason why a lot of these online videos don't talk about the responsibilities, obligations, and best practices of concealed carry in Virginia is they use these videos for multiple states, and some states are different.
So is this basically making more requirements for these online gun safety classes?
No, the only thing it does is require them to put a paragraph and say, this video includes some obligations, responsibilities, and best practices for being a concealed carry permit holder, or it doesn't. That's all it does.
Say I want to take a concealed carry course, and I'm looking at stuff online because that fits with my schedule or my lifestyle. And I come across a site, and maybe I think, okay, I want to sign up for this site and do my concealed carry, and I take the videos, then to find out later on down the road they didn't teach me about something, and now I'm running into a legal problem. Is this going to somehow address that?
Concealed carry permit holders, we're all law-abiding citizens, right? But you have to know the law, and that's sometimes the issue. I've had someone come up and say, "Well, Glenn, it's not our responsibility to make sure people know how to be safe with the firearm." And I'd argue, as law-abiding gun owners that value the Second Amendment, it is our responsibility, because in today's society, any incident, any accident that the media deems as preventable, they use to take away more of our Second Amendment rights. I mean, think about it for a second. Bump stocks. It's been used in one violent tragedy in history, right? And now they're banned. We're probably one, God forbid, child death, away from seeing mandatory trigger locks on firearms when they're not in your possession. That's why it's so important for people to, for us to have this information, because we all want to be law-abiding gun owners as concealed carry permit holders. You just have to know the law, and we know that anything that happens will be used against us as a group to come after more of our Second Amendment rights.
Some of the ideas that came from were from some of the people that were at the rally today. They're some of my core volunteers. We show up and we're normal people. I'm an IT guy, for gosh sake. So it's not like we're just some sort of legislative anybody. We are just normal people coming up with some actual, I want my words back, common sense solutions, So that's just something that we're very passionate about. I mean, and I'm just glad that Glenn is some open-minded kind of guy where we saw some things in this legislation we didn't really agree with, say, hey, what's going on with this? And instead of shouting at him, we said, can we do a roundtable? And he's like, yeah, come on up. And so we actually opened up his office, and we came up, and it was a bunch of blue-collar people and coming up and just making things right.
It seems like that's something that you could actually get passed, given that the Democrats have the majority right now.
So I don't know if the Democrats like this. I mean, keep in mind, they like to say that they're for gun safety. But if they were for gun safety, would they be trying to shut down the gun ranges where people actually go, to learn about safe use of firearms, right? If they were about gun safety, would they be trying to ban muzzle brakes? I mean, we all know that the safest weapons, in many cases, especially for new shooters, are the weapons with the least amount of recoil. Muzzle brakes decrease recoil, but the Democrats want to ban muzzle brakes. So my bill is about gun safety, but I'm not sure that that's what they're interested in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. So the Second Amendment rally in Richmond, Virginia has concluded, and many of the people have left and went home. And not a single shot was fired and no incidences of violence or rioting, despite the fact that the mainstream media like to hype tensions and stoke fear and panic that this was going to be another Charlottesville. It proved that Governor Northam's declaration of a state of emergency was a complete waste. It showed that law-abiding citizens can open carry and be law-abiding citizens. What a surprise. So if there's any message that the government should hear loud and clear here today, it's that the American people are not going to give up their guns. And if you want them, you got to come take them. So here's our pantry. This is just what we have available in our pantry, but we've got boxes that we have stockpiled, especially of the X2, the iodine, because sometimes the supply will waver on that and we don't want to miss out on having lots of iodine available for our family. But we got the Secret 12 here. I've got my Super Female Vitality, the Brain Force Plus. Myco CX is a great cleanse to do. It can help cleanse your body from like candida, any yeast. The Gut Fusion is amazing. It's a great fiber supplement. We've got the Real Red Pill. Amazing product right there. Just help your brain enhance itself and really focus. The Carnivore Digestive Enzymes. Ultimate 12, some of these are even the older versions, but we have the Ultra 12, the B12, we've got Knockout over here. Look, it's almost gone, okay? I'm not kidding. This is what we take. I think we might only have a couple. Look at this, we got 3 pills left. We need to order some more Knockout, definitely. Get that good sleep. I tell you, if you take Knockout, you will have some of the best sleep and the most vivid dreams. It's amazing. We have Vitamin Mineral Fusion, which is a tasty drink. I give this stuff to my kids even. They love it. Get those vitamins in when sometimes maybe you don't like swallowing pills, or you're picky about pills, or you don't like those nasty llama pills. This has a great flavor, and it's a way to get those vitamins and minerals in your body that your body needs. But I've got the Flora Life, the advanced restorative probiotics. Man, if I'm ever having stomach problems, I take this and it just heals my gut. You know, sometimes being out on the road traveling, you can't always pick the best food. Sometimes fast food and other yucky foods are the only thing available. And this Flora Life is a lifesaver. I take the Chill Force to chill out after a stressful day. It's amazing. It just helps you relax, and we kind of joke around, hey, take a chill pill. Why don't you take a chill pill? Take advantage of some of the great products that InfoWars has. Me and my family, we take the products. I wouldn't recommend anything to you that I didn't also take myself and give to my family.